Over the past 5 years, Sifan Hassan and Femke Bol have essentially been the most dominant track and field athletes to come out of the Netherlands. Between the both of them, they've won a total of 16 individual medals, and being honest, 12 of them were from Sifan, so Femke is really kind of playing catch up to her. But along with that, while Sifan has taken a back seat when it comes to competing at European championships, both indoors and outdoors in recent years, Femke Bol has been full throttle, winning 5 individual gold medals, again, both indoors and outdoors at European championships. And that's to say nothing of all the relay medals that Femke has grabbed for her country, including literally grabbing a gold medal in the last few meters of various races. But in addition to some of the other Dutch athletes who have stood on the Olympic or the World Championship podium a few times over the past couple years, including in the marathon, the heptathlon, most of them have essentially stood in the shadow of either Sifan Hassan or Femke Bol. One of those athletes who has yet to win an individual Olympic or World Championship medal outdoors and has frequently come up short at Europeans is Lieke Klaver. Like it or not, Lieke Klaver has been running in the shadows of Femke Bol, both literally having finished behind her in various races, and even before today, her 4 fastest indoor 400 meter times came from runner-up finishes to Femke Bol, but also figuratively in her shadow in terms of the spotlight and recognition both at home in the Netherlands and globally as well. And again, on paper, Lieke simply does not have the accolades that Femke does, so it makes perfect sense. This weekend though, in front of a home crowd of about 5,000 fans in the Netherlands, Lieke took home the title of European indoor champion in the 400 meter dash, her first ever gold medal in the event at the senior level, and more importantly, arguably showing that she doesn't need Femke Bol to perform when it counts the most. Now, let's be clear, this isn't a massive turning point in the event, and who knows how this will translate outdoors when it really matters at the World Championships in Tokyo. Remember, 3 women last year just ran 48 seconds to all medal at the Paris Olympic Games. But I do think because of all the circumstances surrounding this specific win, Lieke may have gotten over a major barrier and is opening the door to another step towards success in her career. Now, I did a preview of the women's 400 meter race at European indoors, but for context, entering the championships, Klaver was only the 3rd best woman in Europe this year, behind the world leader of Henriette Jager of Norway and the number 2 Amber Anning of Great Britain. Now, Femke Bol, who is the defending champion and of course the world record holder in the 400, she had already opted out of running the 400 here at Europeans, which again kind of opened the door for any of these 3 women to truly take the title. Now, in the heats, Anning actually had the fastest time with a mark of 51.01 seconds, and she looked extremely comfortable dropping that time, but she was later disqualified due to a lane infringement, and it was low-key kind of devastating. Everyone was extremely surprised, but that left just Klaver and Jager as the main competitors left to go for the gold medal. And again, based on how comfortable Anning looked in her heat, that may have eliminated someone who could have truly done some damage to this 400 meter field. So that gave Klaver the leading times from both the heats and the semifinals as they entered the final of the 400 meters. Now, remember what I noted at the top. The European Championships were going down in the Netherlands, more specifically in Apeldoorn, which is by no means Klaver's hometown, but the Netherlands is a pretty small country, and she grew up barely an hour away from Apeldoorn, and even more importantly, she trains less than 30 minutes away just outside of Arnhem. So people showed up and showed out to see Klaver grab the gold medal in this 400. But don't forget, Jager from Norway was still the 2025 world leader at this point. In the final, Klaver was in lane 6, which she's pretty familiar with, while Jager was in lane 4. In her typical style, Klaver was out extremely fast as she was running blind and essentially wanted to ensure she grabbed the pole position at the break. She clearly led the field, hitting the 200 in 23.47, a split which is faster than what she had run in her 3 fastest 400 meter races of her entire career.
Well, I prefer to be in the race because then I'm in control, but the moments before the race, it's crazy. Like, there are so many thoughts, and I want them to be silent and just to tell myself I can do this. But then when I'm racing, all the storm is over and I know what to do, and that's what made me happy.
But going into the final lap, Jager started to challenge Klaver, pulling up right beside her with about 100 to go and putting even more pressure in the final 50 meters. But Lieke Klaver, she managed to hold on just enough to grab the gold medal in 50.38 seconds, her 4th fastest time ever and less than a 1/10 of a second ahead of Jager's 50.45. So why was this specific race important? Well, there's a few different reasons. This was the first European gold medal for Lieke Klaver. Previously, she had won silver behind Femke in 2023 indoors, as well as bronze in 2024 outdoors behind Natalia Kazmarek as well as Rashida Adeleke. She also won world indoor silver behind Femke in 2024. So this was kind of the first time that Klaver would stand on top of the podium individually at a senior championships.
No, he's treating us like pure individuals. He's telling Femke her plan, he's telling me my plan, and he's not telling me what Femke is doing, and he's not telling Femke what I'm doing. Yeah, I think that's also something really nice of our coach. In competitions, no, because it's not always that we run together. So in any case, whatever happens, we have to have our own plan. So that's always what he's telling us as well.
On top of that, she managed the pressure to win in front of her home crowd pretty well. Remember, Femke Bol was not competing individually here, which may have typically created kind of a buffer in terms of all the attention and the pressure that Klaver would get. On top of that, Amber Anning had been DQ'd in those heats. So with one of her top competitors out, that low-key might have raised the stakes, for the fans in terms of Klaver's potential to actually win that gold medal.
Yeah, I'm happy that I love pressure. Of course, in a few seconds before the race, I'm like, oh, I really want to get rid of this pressure, but I don't know, it helps me.
But finally, also important here is that Klaver proved that she can run quote-unquote fast without Femke indoors. And when I say that, I don't mean she has never run fast individually, but she had never broken 50.54 seconds without finishing second place to Femke in any race. Now, though this isn't a personal best, her ability to drop this time running gun to tape clearly indicates that she is capable of showing up when it matters the most. So after this win, it brings up the question of what's next for Lieke Klaver. Well, she does have World Indoor Championships coming up in just about 2 weeks' time in China, and she'll have to not only replicate, but also likely improve her performance there. Though she is the defending silver medalist from Glasgow last year, and Femke Bol won't be lining up, both Jaeger and Anning will likely be in China as well. And remember, Anning was looking very comfortable before she got DQ'd in the heats, and then Jaeger, she barely finished behind Klaver here. So a World Indoor Gold medal is not a foregone conclusion. But what if she actually does win that World Indoor Gold? What does that mean for the outdoor 400 meters? Well, as I've spoken about multiple times in the last year, the women's 400 is arguably in the best shape that it's ever been, barring the 1980s, and things were very questionable back then. Klaver has pretty much had mixed success globally over the past 5 years or so, right? Finishing 4th place at the 2022 World Champs, 6th place at the 2023 World Champs, and not even making it out of the semifinals at both the Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Olympics, the latter of which led to the fastest 400 meter race in history, where even Klaver's outdoor personal best of 49.58 would have only gotten her a best of 6 in that final. So though Klaver has been competitive on the circuit, she'll have to drastically step things up to put herself in medal contention at the World Championships this year, or in the Olympics in a few years. But getting this European indoor gold, considering all the circumstances that led up to it, was definitely a step in the right direction. So let me know what you think about Lieke Klaver. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.